underway. Longview City Council also further discussed their market pay study that we've been staying on top of. Now, according to the study in 2025, there was a 23% civilian job turnover, with 80% of civilian jobs being below average pay for their 14 comparison cities. The final recommendation presented tonight included a $2 million increase to the budget. This, along with the watching how the comparison markets adjust their pay in the future, would bring all of the jobs for the city of Longview to that market average. Listen to this.
Non-survey years, we monitor the adopted budgets of those 14 cities, gauge if they're moving scales. So if other cities move their scales by 1 or 2%, we would anticipate also moving our scales by 1 or 2% to stay in that kind of average spot.
City Council will vote to implement that pay study finding in the first meeting that will come up in June. The pay adjustments would be discussed for the upcoming budget year.